Die Kamera ist es ja wohl nicht. So we're back.
Hey.
Hey.
How's it going?
Use the
How's it
microphone.
going? Yes,
Let's use the microphone.
I'm not very awake today. Hi, how are you?
Pretty good. Yeah. Second day of the live stream. Third day of Mobile World Congress. It's like the 30th day for us over here on the show.
Starting to feel it now. It's one of those. It's really rare for me to get. This has been a busy show for me. More than some others, and I've been doing this one for like 8 years or something. So.
Welcome to the real world.
Yeah, right. How's it going for you?
Good. Well, they don't let me out of my little tank here, the little sauna.
Well,
even though we have an AC.
In a way, it's good because the big world out there is crazy. Like I went to a BlackBerry press conference, almost fell asleep, and then at the last minute, like bunch of suits in a room at 8:30 in the morning for like hours talking about blah 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 business, monetize. Like if I had to count the keywords, it was redonkulous.
Bingo.
Oh, it was BlackBerry bingo. And you know, in our heads we were like, Ina was there, Ina Fried of Recode, and you know, a bunch of other well-known, wonderful people, and we were like going, just think of the BlackBerry developer song. Just think of the BlackBerry developer song. That'll keep you awake. Yeah. And then we were all dozing off. And at the last minute, they pull out a new BlackBerry, the Leap, and they say, we're launching this today. And we're like, oh, crap, we've got to do work now. And not only that, but then they pulled out I don't know if you heard this, a curved portrait slider. A curved screen like the LG G Flex 2.
Yeah.
With a slider, portrait slider, kind of like the Pre or the Venue Pro 8.
Yeah.
Venue, you know, what? Do you remember that? Anyway.
Yeah, I do.
Popped it out for a second and said, this is what we're working on for later this year.
Could you take a picture?
No, we didn't have time. Like, nobody, I think maybe one guy got a picture and he was a pro camera guy. He was ready to go.
Yeah.
But we're all like kind of asleep in our seats. It's terrible.
So in terms of timing, that was one of the best press conferences you've ever attended.
I think in a way they trolled us.
Yeah.
Like in a major freaking way. Congrats, BlackBerry, we love you. But I mean, seriously, like I was like, oh man. And so then, you know, here I am with Chris Velasco of Engadget, you know, it's Derek of Mobile Nations, you know, the guys I worked for at CS. And we're all scrambling to get a hands-on with this phone. And there's a single phone tethered in a corner of the room, right? And so we're all like, ugh. And then finally I'm like, no, this is stupid. Let me pull my magic. So I go to Jeff, the BlackBerry guy, and I go, Jeff, you got one? You got one? He goes, let me work on something. He comes back with a phone, puts us all in a room by ourselves for half an hour with the phone. Nice. So I got a great hands-on. I don't know if you saw it. It's live on the site, mobilegeeks.com.
Yeah.
BlackBerry Leap, check it out. Anyway, I don't know what we're talking about BlackBerry because we're here to talk about phablets.
We're talking about phablets.
Large phones, and BlackBerry doesn't make phablets or large phones.
Not at all. 4 inches.
Does BlackBerry even make phones?
And are they? I think they're the messaging machines.
I'm just mean. Anyway, so we completely disagree.
We completely disagree
on the terminology of a phablet.
Let's first of all just take a look at all the devices that we have over here.
So we've got a smorgasbord of devices.
So look at this. You know what?
So this side.
Let's just move this a little bit
around.
Is
this good? There we go.
Here we go.
So this is your side right here.
This is my side.
This is my side. And these are, I would preface this discussion.
And by the way, I can still show you the most amazing case
iPhone 6 Plus case.
For the iPhone 6 Plus. Look
this is awesome.
Yeah. Totoro in the house.
Totoro. So here's the thing. My opinion is these are all what I call large phones.
Yeah.
Absolutely no doubt they're large phones. So you want to go through yours and I'll go through mine.
Okay, so first of all over here, this is my daily driver, which is the OnePlus One.
Of course.
It's a 5.5-inch Full HD device. Costs only about $300. I have a 64 gig version. I love it. Battery life is absolutely amazing. This is the LG G3. I was using it this summer. So successor, of course, of the G2. Has a fantastic camera, especially because of the optical image stabilizer. I'm not so sure about the laser focus. I've been shooting some pictures with it at the racing track, and I was just trying to get the cars that were just passing by into the focus. Didn't work. It worked perfectly with my Lumia 1020, so I have some comparison pictures with it. So this laser focus wasn't working for me at all. Then I have the Xiaomi Mi Note. So this
Yeah.
is the Mi Note, not the Mi Note Pro. I think one of the most gorgeous phablets that is out there. Super thin case. And no, stay there with the camera. A very thin case here. Great build quality. The look and feel of it is amazing. Great display once again. And also an amazingly thin bezel. I should switch it on so we can also see it some later. And then last but not least on my side is the Huawei Ascend Mate 7. It's a 6-inch device, once again, with a very, very thin bezel. And the very first Android phone, the very first manufacturer that got the sensor, the fingerprint sensor, really to work properly.
So it's just tap. It's just hold like the iPhone?
It is super fast.
Okay.
And it's like they really got it.
You don't have to swipe your finger like on Samsung.
And you remember that we've had some bigger phones.
That's why I'm asking. You don't have to swipe like on the Samsung?
No, not at all.
Okay, great.
Just tap it.
Okay.
It works exactly in the same way as on the iPhone. So this is my side of the story.
I mean, just to be clear, this is just what I brought with me, happened to have with me at Mobile Congress.
Yeah,
Not like, I love the G3. It's one of my favorite phones of 2014, and I've used it extensively. So it would also be one of my picks here. I don't know these two very well because they're hard to find in the US. OnePlus One, I have one. I love it. It's great. I wish the camera was better, but the price point is hard to beat. So my side, iPhone 6 Plus.
The camera sucks, to be honest.
It does.
I need to be very honest with this.
I agree.
I think... And the way,
I wish more
way they
people-
pitched it over social media, that was a fail.
I wish more people would be upfront and be honest that the camera on the OnePlus One
you can work around this
It's
issue.
the most terrible thing ever made.
Yeah. They try to sell it to us that they can now they're supporting over an update raw images. It doesn't make it any better.
Doesn't make it any better. Anyway, so my side has iPhone 6 Plus, which, as you know, if you're following my tweets, has been my daily driver. I've been experimenting with, instead of my Nexus, having my iPhone 6 Plus as a daily driver. It's been kind of interesting, a bit painful, but there are some things I love and some things I really hate. You also use an iPhone for a daily driver, so you know exactly how I can relate.
Yeah.
Other than this, of course, you use. This is my other daily driver, the Nexus 6, obviously. I was on a 5 for a really long time. I was very hesitant to go up to the 6 because I feel it's too big of a phone, and I still today feel it's too big of a phone. And then here's the LG G Flex 2, which is basically a G3 with a curved screen. And then over here is the Huawei Honor 6 Plus. And the reason I got this phone from Huawei, it's my first Huawei review device, is because of the awesome dual camera setup for a variable aperture. It's really amazing. That was my interest, not specifically because it's a big phone or anything.
Plus, I also love the camera software.
Yeah, it's really good.
They
so
really
for me, this is just what I happen to have with me. I've got a few other phones, but they're not big phones. And, you know, honestly, I waited quite a bit to switch to the Nexus 6 because I feel it's too big. So the question is, I think a lot of this is a matter of preference, opinion, and terminology. And we don't agree, but I'd like you to hear your side. How do you define what is a large phone versus a phablet? What does a phablet mean to you?
I think a phablet, I define it by the screen size.
Okay.
I think everything that is at least 5.5 inch is a phablet for me.
Okay.
Because this is a kind of merger between a smartphone and a tablet. And what a phablet does to me is exactly defining this once again, because it killed the tablet usage scenario for me, especially the tablets that are in the 7 to 8 inch space.
Right.
So, and this is what the phablet did to me. I'm using phablet since the very first Galaxy Note.
Yeah.
And yes, this would be a good argument for you, because the very first Galaxy Note has been a 5.2 inch device.
Yeah, I know, exactly, right?
And yes, it evolved a little bit.
Yeah. So for me, it's not the threshold. First of all, well, let's talk about the word phablet next. But first, for me, it's not a threshold in terms of screen size. It's more of a where does the phone fit in the lineup?
Yeah.
And I feel that 5.5 inches today, a lot of flagships are at that size. The OnePlus One, the G3, the iPhone 6 Plus, the G Flex 2. The Honor 6 Plus is not a flagship, I don't think, but it has... it is in the Honor line, the flagship. So to me, it tells me that, you know, I guess I'm looking at Samsung, and they've always had, and even HTC with the Max and the Desire line, they've always had the flagship and then a mini version and a larger version, right? And the large version of Samsung has been the Note, and the mini version has been the mini.
Right.
And so to me, when I say flagship, I mean that middle size phone.
Yeah.
So for me, the G3 is not a phablet because there's a G Pro 2 that's 5.9 inches.
Right.
That is same guts more or less.
Yeah.
And larger screen.
Yeah.
And then there's an S3 mini. Sorry, G3 mini.
What is
what
a 5-inch device for LG? There's no flagship 5-inch device,
there was an Nexus 5 for a while, but that was it.
That's true. But they don't have anything. I think that, the LG G2 was, even though it was a 5.2 inch, but due to this very thin bezel and the way that they got all the buttons on the back, it turned into the form factor and size of a 5-inch smartphone.
And I want to be clear, when I call flagship, to me, it's a medium to large size phone. And you can have a small phone, like a mini, that's also flagship specs. A good example is Z3 Compact.
Yeah.
It's perfect. I actually love the size of the G3 Compact, although sometimes I feel there's not enough screen real estate. But overall, it feels really great in hand.
And we have to give Sony credit for this because
They're
they're the only ones on the market to get proper specs into a compact device.
If Samsung and HTC are listening, you're right. There's the iPhone 6.
It's the only competitor for Apple.
But the iPhone 6 is actually
space.
bigger than the Z3 Compact.
Yeah.
So there's the iPhone 6. But I really want, and I will give Apple a hard time for not putting iOS on the iPhone 6. So only on the 6 Plus. Why? Come on. But I think that honestly, I think that Sony's done it right. But when it comes to the word, first of all, I find the word phablet kind of, I don't like it. It's just like a weird word, and it's been overused. I think of these phones as, regardless of their screen size, anything about 5.5 and bigger like you, I think of them as large phones.
Okay.
And they can go up to 6 inches, like the Nexus 6. And
but for a lot of people, a 5-inch phone is already a large
nah,
phone.
not anymore.
Not anymore.
I think it evolves. And I think we're used to it.
Yeah.
Now, I thought when I had my Nexus 5 and the Nexus 6 came out, I was like, you're crazy.
I mean, look at an iPhone 4 right now, 3.5 inch, how it feels.
I know, it's ridiculous. I can't use this.
And you guys were constantly telling us that those other phones are way too big, and now the 6 Plus is the most popular one.
So to me, what I'm telling you is that I think the baseline of what a medium-sized flagship phone is changing over time. I'm now 5 is kind of my minimum to really be productive. 5.5 is the sweet spot. 4.7 is nice if I want something high end that I can take, in a out for the night kind of thing where I don't need to be as productive. I do like the real estate on my Nexus 6, but I find that I wish it was just a little bit smaller. Is this 6.1?
This is a 6-inch device. I would love to show this again because it tells a lot about the story of Huawei and how they evolved over the years. When you look at this device, this S Mate 7, I think you can get it for around $400 already.
Wow.
Right now. You have this gorgeous 1080p screen. Let me just turn on the brightness again. And look at how thin the bezels are. Oh, hold on a second. Look how thin the bezels are. It feels good.
I want to talk about the bezels because to me, part of the reason
once again, this is aluminum. And it has an amazing fingerprint sensor on there. It's a beauty.
It's a beautiful phone. You know what? For me, I think bezels matter a lot. I want the smallest bezels possible. Look at this G3, right?
Yeah.
Here you have a phone with almost as little bezel as possible, pretty much, today, with today's tech. And frankly, you look at the iPhones, look, same size, iPhone 6 Plus in comparison. Let me make sure I don't show you half of my notifications here.
I mean, the bezels on the iPhone are huge.
So,
Jesus.
Look, here is my, look at this.
Oh my God. This looks like so 1995.
It's insane, right? These are the same size screens and same resolution screen, guys. So to me, the bezel is a huge...
No. This is a 1440p.
Oh, you're right. This is Quad HD. I keep thinking of my G Flex 2, which is 1080p. But all I'm saying is I think this is a huge discussion nobody's having right now. It's not really... I think that we should decouple the size of the phone and the size of the display.
Okay, let me show you the most obvious comparison here. Let's choose... Okay, could you just hold this microphone for a second? Let me show you something, what is possible in terms of form factor, and I think where Apple really failed with the iPhone 6, with the 6 Plus. Well, first of all, I need to... Jesus. Here we go.
It's sideways.
I'm always mixing it up. Let me just show you... oh, sorry. You need to unlock it. Yeah. Okay. Now look at this. I'm going to show you here. look at this Mate 7 and look at this iPhone 6 Plus. They're exactly the same size, or in terms of the heights, but the iPhone 6 Plus only has a 5.5-inch display, while in the Mate 7 I have a 6-inch display. And now look at the bezels, all right? And even I think it even feels better. It's just amazing what Huawei did with this device for like $400. So this is half the price of the iPhone 6 Plus, and you're getting an amazing device. And I think, you know what? Sorry, Apple guys. Yes, you're all about design. I think the case of the iPhone 6 Plus is gorgeous, and of the iPhone 6. But when I look at these bezels, this just feels like it's a design that we were used to on the market like 2 or 3 years ago. It's all about thin bezels.
I agree.
And plus, look at these huge bezels on
top and bottom.
On the top and bottom. If you compare this to to my OnePlus One, which is probably one of the biggest
5.5-inch Android phones, yeah.
And look how high the iPhone 6 Plus is once again. I think they really, really failed on this one. It is even for me, it is just too big. And that's why I'm using the iPhone 6.
Yeah, I'm gotten comfortable with the 6 Plus, but I have to say that the real estate of the screen is a little disappointing compared. You know, again, I want to have, as I said, I want to have a conversation where I want to see journalists out there and tech folks start not talking about in screen size anymore, but in phone size.
Yeah,
because
I like
that matters so much more, right? There's no doubt the screens are going to keep getting bigger.
The display case ratio is also quite interesting.
Eventually we're going to have the entire front glass of the screen be screen.
Yeah,
and nothing else, like and it has to be that way. And it's the future. And at that point, we'll have 7-inch phones in the same shell as we have today on 6-inch phones.
Yeah. And once again, it's also quite obvious when you see this. Can we just switch over again? Hold a microphone.
Yeah.
Thank you. Let me show you the Mi Note again from Xiaomi, which is, you know, a lot of people saying it's the Apple of China, right? I mean, once again, look at this. Yeah, can you see that? And now look at how thin it also is. So I paid about $400 for the Mi Note. This is, once again, it's the Mi Note with the Snapdragon 801 and the 1080p screen, a 5.7-inch, while there will be a Mi Note Pro with the Snapdragon 810 and then also with a 1440p screen. I'm always saying 1440p.
That's good, actually. I like that.
Because we are also saying 1080p, and we're not saying...
Quad HD.
And then we're saying, all of a sudden, we're saying...
Full HD versus Quad HD.
That's a good point.
HD 720, full HD.
I'm 720, 1080, 1440.
That's good. That's one way to do it. Look, I think I would like. I'm going to play devil's advocate for a second. I agree with you that the Mi Note. I'm not arguing about the Mi Note. I'm saying about the people complaining about the price of the iPhone all the time.
Yeah.
And I think they're missing the point. You have to understand. I agree with you that yes, you can get almost 99% of the phone experience from the iPhone. Well, not the experience. The phone in terms of hardware, probably in some ways even better with the Mi Note.
Yeah.
But the reality is that's not why people pay the big money for Apple, right?
No.
We've got to understand.
They're buying into an ecosystem.
And look, I'm not saying it's right or wrong.
Yeah.
I'm saying this is a fact.
Yeah.
People are willing to pay a minimum of $1,000.
Yeah.
Let's face it, because nobody buys an iPhone 6 Plus with 16 gigabytes.
No.
So they all buy it with 64, which means they're paying $100 more than the base price of the iPhone 6 Plus for that phone. And nobody blinks an eye doing it,
right?
Which tells me that Apple wins.
I paid $1,000 for my iPhone 6 with 128 gigs.
Think about it. It's
insane.
People keep forgetting it's all about profit margin in the iOS world. So Apple walks all the way to the bank every single time. Now, you can choose not to support that if you don't want to. But the reality is people support it because they love the experience. And I struggle, because I'm an Android person. My workflow is so technical and advanced and specific to, like a niche market that I'm more comfortable with Android. And that's why Apple asked me, they know I always use an iPhone as a secondary device. They say, why don't you try it as your primary? Because we want to hear your feedback. And my feedback is basically going to be the camera is killer.
Yeah.
Let's
say it's probably the best hardware and software combination when it comes to the camera that is available on the market.
The Touch ID is also killer. Particularly Apple Pay is unbelievably frictionless.
Well, you can use it in San Francisco. We can.
I use it all the time. And then, and overall the hardware is beautiful, the software is beautiful, but I get frustrated. I'm not as productive. And as a heavy Android ecosystem user, even though Google has provided phenomenal apps for the Android ecosystem, they're not as good as on Android. And so I know what I could get, and I get frustrated, right? For example,
as on iOS.
Simple example, right? G+ on iOS.
Yeah.
If you're in the comments of a thread and you want to reply to someone, there's no reply button. You have to type plus and their name, and hopefully it auto-completes, and then you type. No, on Android, I can go hold tap and reply, and then reply. It's little things, right?
This is how they're trying to hold you hostage, right? To the Android ecosystem by really giving you
tiny little
the real proper Google experience on the Android platform, which is okay, right? You have to give them this because Apple is playing the same game, right, with us for all these years.
I mean, the reality is, you can't go wrong with an iPhone 6 Plus for most people, and you can't go wrong with a Nexus or any of these phones if you're an Android user, really. These are all great. The OnePlus One's camera is less great than it should be. There are some issues, right? Like each of them have something they could do better, right?
These are all absolutely amazing devices. You can't go wrong. You won't have a bad experience with all 8 of these devices.
Yep.
These are top-notch phones that are out there. And trust me, they're still going to be great in a year or two from now.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And this is what I love about the industry. On the one hand, it makes it kind of boring, but we reach the production level. Kind of level of perfection with the design, with the software, with the features of these phones that are kind of extending the life cycles more and more and more. So when you're buying one of these phones right now, you can be sure that you can still use them in 2 or 3 years from now on, and you will still have a proper phone.
Absolutely, and and that's the way it should be, really, because you and I, we change phones every day, but the average person out there, they have to spend their hard-earned money on a phone, and they're going to keep it for a while.
Yeah, due to the fact, because we really have to come to an end, 30 minutes, and we could go on this for hours, due to the fact that as you can tell right now, that we've also uploaded it to our YouTube channel. So just let us know what you think about this. Just let us know in the comments what is your favorite phone and which ecosystem you would prefer. And in general, do you think that Phablet is still a definition or
what is
category?
What is your definition of a large phone versus a phablet? If you like the word phablet, if you use the word phablet, what is your you think that screen size matters more than phone size, or the other way around?
Yeah.
I think we're getting down to. It's interesting that the industry is getting down to the nitty gritty detail now. Like you really, like the M9 is a good example. Is here at Mobile Congress. It feels so incredible in hand.
Yeah.
Like it is the perfect. It's probably more perfect. Like the iPhone is a joke in comparison in hand to the M9.
Yeah.
And that to me, this is what's getting to. Like everybody can make a metal phone now.
Yeah.
But does it feel good in hand? Right? Does it have the ergonomics? And that's what's changing.
So please let us know. Maybe you also going to let us know what kind of device you prefer. You know what we missed?
What?
Oh gosh, I left it in the hotel.
Oh no!
The
what?
Note
your
4.
Note 4.
Oh my god!
Oh
my god! Oops!
The grandfather of all phablets.
Oh my god! Trust me, just think about it, just having a Note 4 in between here.
What is it now? 5.7 or 5.9?
5.7 inch.
I have to tell you, the Note 4, I've always been a bit of a critic
One of the best
Samsung.
cameras out there.
Yeah. I've been a big critic of Samsung for the plasticiness, but now that they make metal phones again, that camera, my God, that camera. Honestly, if you want the best Android phone camera right now, it's probably the Note 4.
It's the Note 4, or you're going for the S6 or S6 Edge.
Correct, but that's
Might be
iOS.
a little bit better.
Yeah.
So, leave us a comment. Let us know what you think about this.
The S6, yes, sorry.
And thank you so much for watching.
Bye, guys.